Hello, everyone. Happy Christmas. This is Moondog, and thanks for joining me on my post-Christmas day live show here, TMI Live. Too much information, and you're going to get a lot of information today, perhaps more than you had bargained for, because I'm going to be sharing some of the stuff that I did for over Christmas and actually today. On today's live stream. But I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas with their family or at least with their friends in someplace warm, at least for most of the day. And today we're going to get started. But first, I wanted to talk about my sponsor, at least until the first of the year. We'll see. But it's Aura, and I don't talk about them lightly. They are a great service. They are an online cybersecurity company that I use to protect myself and my family from ne'er-do-wells out on the web. But what they do is it's a monthly service company, and they offer a whole wealth of security services, including for cybersecurity, including credit monitoring, fraud alerts. They have a VPN, which is a virtual private network that you can use to protect yourself while browsing at the shopping mall, returning stuff, or wherever. You can protect your identity in public Wi-Fi. You can also change your location of where it looks like you're logging in. So I haven't quite used this, or maybe I won't admit that I've used this, but you can log in as, say, watching your streaming services from England to get around certain restrictions on regional content. And also, this is important, is that they will get you off of credit broker lists. And these are companies that buy and sell our personal information, including our name, our address, our phone numbers, our email addresses, to marketing companies, political organizations, and who knows who. And they do this unless you specifically go to each of those companies and request to have yourself removed from them. Well, there are hundreds of them out there, but if you use Aura, you can get yourself, it's a matter of clicking a couple of buttons and they will get you removed. And I've got myself removed from over 30 of these data broker companies. And you can get this done for yourself for free. Go to my link, aura.com/moondog, sign up, and you get 14 free days. And during those 14 free days, you can use all of their services, including getting yourself off of these credit broker lists and finding out your current credit score. All these things you can do for free. So try them out. Do it now, because we only have a few more days until the end of the year. So try it out, and those 14 days will continue from today or whenever you sign up for 14 days. But for sure, I will be sponsored by them until December 31st for sure. All right, everybody. And today, I'm going to be giving away as a prize something, a trio of Daniel Defense chamber flags, and a special little prize, but also a Spotter Co. tote bag to go with all of this. And these are chamber flags for those of you who don't know or don't use them, but I don't. You put these inside of the chamber of your rifle or your pistol, and this helps other folks know that your gun is unloaded and safe at the range between ceasefire. And a lot of ranges, especially in your big cities, require that you have a chamber flag. So this is kind of cool. This is actually a Daniel Defense branded chamber flag that they sell. But I'm giving you a trio, so you have a pack. You could even give them away as gifts. But the thing about any chamber flags, they tend to disappear, especially when you're packing your gear. So I'm giving you a trio of them as a prize today, along with the Spider Co. bag. So to do that, all you have to do is put in the chat, the side chat right now. Put in hashtag, and here's the thing: hashtag gun, and it's a gun brand. So this is a bit of a trivia contest I'm giving you here. You type in a hashtag and the name of a gun brand, but the gun brand, here's the clue for you early birds who signed in first. You're going to get more clues than everybody else who logs in later. I'm going to give you clues throughout the whole episode as to what the name of this gun brand is. But if this one, here's your first clue. This 9mm submachine gun was inspired by the CZ model SA-25. Okay, so what you need to do is, if you know what that is, put in hashtag and the name of the gun in the side chat, and you'll be entered to win the contest at the end of the show. But I'll give you a few more clues later on. But that's what we're going to try out today. Hopefully, you'll find that's a bit of fun. All right. So, um, I have a special guest today, and that is American Hillbilly. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm on American Hillbilly's show, uh, practically, I won't say every Saturday night, but I try to get on as many Saturday nights. If I can't be on the show itself, I'll try to join the side chat. But he's a special guest with me tonight. He has his Saturday show, Guns, Beer, and Therapy, is a great fun show where he invites a lot of his friends and other content creators to join him in a guest panel, and he asks a bunch of fun and very illuminating questions to the panel. And sometimes they're not about guns, or perhaps sometimes they're just about general things like our favorite 80s song or whatnot. And it's a fun night, and it's meant to be a lighthearted community kind of show. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Hee Haw back in the day, for those of you who remember and used to watch that on the regular. But I'd like to introduce tonight, we have American Hillbilly. Hey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Moondog, how you doing, buddy?
Very good.
Man.
Glad you could join me.
Yeah, kind of like Hee Haw. That's a great compliment for me.
Well, yeah, how was your Christmas, buddy?
Great. And that Warriors talking about a while ago. So let me ask you this: is saying it help get you off the no call list and all that. So if you owe some feller named Tony a bunch of money from gambling debt from New York, does that help with that, or?
I suppose it could get you wiped off of any some of those lists if he's trying to track you down.
Oh man, my Christmas.
But if you haven't tried it, it's a good service, and I can vouch for it personally. Oh yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine, and yeah, those are great services, and yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, my Christmas went great. Yeah, we had just a wonderful Christmas, and we got to spend time with friends and family. Two of my daughters with their families. One, my youngest daughter and her family lives in Hawaii, and then my oldest son lives way down in Arkansas, and so they weren't able to make it this Christmas, but we got to video chat and do some other stuff. So yeah, we had a great Christmas though, and it's a fun time with with just family and friends, no doubt about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I know technology is in a lot of ways it can be helpful in keeping us all together.
Yeah, it can be used for good, no doubt about that.
So I want to actually, a lot of folks who are in the side chat know you from your show, or also appearing on some of your guest shows like the Georgia Shooting Connection and other shows. But when did we first get introduced? Was it a year ago, a year and a half ago? You contacted me and just asked if I would be on your show.
Yeah, it was actually through comments, I believe, on one of your videos or something. Like I was watching your channel and stuff, and I was like, oh man, it's so cool. Great videos and production that you do. And so, I've been leaving some comments, and so I got a hold of you just through a comment to start it off. And then, I like to think we've become good friends, but yeah, it was
indeed.
It was over a year ago. So yeah, probably a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
So what, I know, so folks know you from the show, but what were you doing before you started going on YouTube?
Oh, man, I was just always working and staying busy. Of course, I never grew up, really with computers. It was before then. I think by the time I graduated high school, we had a couple like Tandies and a few things in the school, but definitely there was no Windows or anything like that.
Oh yeah, the trash 80s.
Yeah, I mean the big floppy disk and all that good stuff. So
for those of you out there who are this is like ancient history.
Mm-hmm.
Radio Shack Tandy brand was Radio Shack's in-house brand, and they actually came out with pretty decent home computers back in the day. For those of you who don't know, so then again, I'm realizing some kids out there don't even know what Radio Shack is because they're gone now.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
I
wild.
think Texas Instruments too. Seems like those were the first two that I remember, and they had little deals like you could put in a disc and play Hangman. That was about that was kind of about the limit.
How did that work out? I remember that on the TRS-80, which was Tandy's home computer. I remember I can totally visualize the Hangman game, but how was it that it asked questions, or were you supposed to play 2-player and then you're supposed to ask the questions?
Well, if I remember right, like once you put the disc in and started the game, it was pretty much just typed across the screen, any of the questions or deals that it wanted to ask you. And then basically, it had a real crude looking like deal post with a deal coming out and hanging down. And then so you had so many letters or empty spaces below that. And that was how many letters was in that word. So the first one, you'd put in that letter and hit enter. And if it was wrong, then it would like add the head,
Yeah.
And then if you was wrong again, it'd add like an arm until like it got the whole body or whatever. And yeah, the animation was very crude. I mean,
I remember those days. So you weren't that into computers or tech back in the day?
not at all. Yeah, my family had real estate and excavating, and my dad, he always had a garage and body shop. So pretty much, cars and, heavy equipment was my life growing up, and, because either my dad is doing it or one of my uncles or my grandfather, so yeah, that seems to like when you're watching them do it and you find it interesting, you got hands on there. It's something that for me, it's something that I knew I wanted to do. And so I luckily got to do both. I learned a lot about cars, did a lot of racing, building cars, and classic cars. And, my heart's really in a lot of classic cars, and then also running equipment. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I done. I mean, there was times here and there where like I may have done some landscaping or just a few little different odd jobs, the thing that in construction, building houses and stuff, because like you wanted to learn and have all the knowledge that you could, and at least for me and like most of the people in this area. And so yeah.
So did you grow up where you live now?
Yes. Yes, I was born right here in the Ozark Mountains. And so, yes, the term hillbilly comes from the folks along the Ozark Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. And they're hill folk, and even a lot of them come through the Appalachian Mountains and migrated here, into these mountains and stuff. And so, yeah, that's where the term hillbilly comes from. And of course, when I was growing up, especially when I got old enough to, start noticing girls and stuff, not so much around here, but when I got my driver's license and was maybe going farther north, into Missouri, up Missouri, and stuff like that, I had an accent, and so at one time I was like embarrassed to be called.
You have an accent?
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, I had a little bit of an accent, and that's something I worked on once I got older, trying to get rid of that accent. And sometimes it comes back on thicker than what, I try to, keep it from. But yeah, it's just, Yeah, if you talk to, some of my, friends here and even just cross the line down to Arkansas and like, some of my granddaughters, I mean,
Mhm.
their accent's way thicker than mine is, just
Oh
because,
my.
yeah, I tried to train myself to be more professional, and try to get rid of a lot of it that I could. But yeah, definitely did not accomplish that 100% by any means. And man, such look at all those people out there in the side chat. Howdy, everybody.
Yeah. Do you
People
want to give him a call out since you're the guest today?
out-
Sure.
you bet. Whatever you'd like to do, buddy.
All right. So folks, if you would type in hillbilly and we'll give you a shout out.
All
So
right.
I think I've talked about accents and in my past shows. I love accents. And it's
Yeah.
a kind of a shame that we've lost for the most part a lot of regional accents in the United States, only because of the prevalence of radio and TV. Everybody's pretty much picked up sort of the mainstream accent, or I believe if what I learned it was actually from a lot of radio broadcasters originally in the 30s from Ohio is where our sort of quote unquote American accent comes from that
Yeah.
everybody sort of the
Yeah.
standard.
Of course. And, we also have to remember not a lot of people traveled much, back in the day.
Oh, true.
So they were only in their area. And that's where, the accent, whatever accent that was there, kind of was the way everybody talked. And nowadays, we got so much TV, we got social media, and stuff like that. And so, we get to hear other people, talk and, kind of maybe adapt onto some of that, getting away from some of the accents. So, but
All right. So
yeah,
you want to give a shout out to everybody who typed in
yeah,
hillbilly
you
in the
betcha.
chat?
Yeah, and so far, it looks like we got Garage Guy 879 out there, Abigail. Hey, girl. See, we got Justin Grimm. We got Ryan Matthew. We got Chris Wedgeworth. And I seen Link out there just a minute ago. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
And
He's feeling a little under the weather is what I heard from his show. I caught a little bit of that before while I was prepping for this show. So I hope he'll be feeling better soon.
yeah, see, like me and Link, we got totally different accents.
Well, I have an accent, but it'll come out if I get a little too sleepy or drunk. But I grew up in Southern California, and that Southern California kind of surfer valley accent is a real thing. Or at least
Oh,
it
yeah.
was when I was growing up.
Oh,
And it's funny
yeah.
is you'll hear that in teenage kids nowadays. I guess it must come from watching TV shows where the writers or directors stereotypically think all teenagers talk like 80s Valley kids. I don't know, but it seems like I hear that accent still today, and I'm in the East Coast or whatever, and I'm hearing it in the mall. I'm like, what? So
Yeah, I've seen on social media, like you said, maybe some younger girls, say in their early 20s, using the Valley talk, the Valley girl accent and stuff. And I'm like, man, I ain't seen that in years, And, but yeah, it's, it's a really cool deal. But yeah, social media and YouTube it's all pretty much new to me. I think probably my first home computer we probably got in like late 90s, maybe early 2000s. And it's basically just, email and this and that. And I've never done any video production other than, well, really high school. I was in some plays and stuff, as we have in high school,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'd love to see video of that.
Yeah. But we really didn't have much like video stuff. I mean, I think we had the big camcorder where you had to, carry the VCR over your shoulder,
Yeah.
and yeah. And so, yeah, that, that was kind of the most of it I had seen. But I've always enjoyed comedy and just joking around with my friends and family, and so I was always working. Lots of hours. There's always, especially if you're in the country, if you have any farm animals, when you get off work, there's always work to do, no matter what. And so pretty much daylight to dark and sometimes after dark, you eat, maybe, you spend time with your family a little bit and it's to bed and back up early. And
Yeah.
so I never watched really YouTube or nothing like that. About the only time I used YouTube is like if I was trying to figure out how to fix a thermostat on the
Oh
clothes
yeah.
dryer, you know, because I knew, I'm like, okay, it looks like the thermostat's bad, but I don't know exactly where it's at. I don't know what part number I need, because like I said, around here we try to like do everything ourselves, which not is not always a good deal or recommended, but so
Yeah.
I would type it in and search, and then video would pop up. Or if I was looking for a firearm or something, I might want to see a review on it. And so I typed that in. And most of the time, one person would always show up at the top of the list, and that was Hickok 45,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
looking for a gun review. Well, COVID come along, and well, first of all, we'll step back just a minute. So we traveled across the United States, parts of quite a bit of the United States, putting in fiber optic because of my experience of excavating and just utilities and
Right.
a lot of stuff. I worked for a big company, and by doing that for about 7 years, I was able to save up enough money to start my own excavating company. So I had that for several years, and when things started slowing down a little bit, I seen like I probably should sell maybe. So I sold my company, and then I just kind of farmed and did a few things like that. And, kind of basically got bored after a year or two. So I opened up a restaurant, and we had
Oh,
that
I didn't know
going.
that. What
Yeah,
kind of food? Just country cooking or
yeah. It was
instant?
all just country cooking, breakfast and lunch, and pretty much most everything was cooked in a. And we tried to use like cast iron a lot. A lot of stuff was homemade, everything, and so yeah, we just tried to bring just some good old fashioned country cooking, for people, and so that worked really great. And then COVID come along, and we got shut down.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I found a lot of time on my hands, and and you can only do so much around your house. And my wife come home, or I'd be like you know doing something like tearing something down, or whatever, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to fix this or rebuild this or whatever. And we were literally watched a lot of TV in that time just because of the like when we were sick and this and that. And
Yeah.
it's kind of new for me watching a whole bunch of TV like that. And just like some of the shows that's on the main, 3 or 4 channels, I got telling her, I'm like, this stuff's kind of trash. I mean, a lot of the stuff I would even want my grandkid to see. And so I found YouTube through Hickok 45. And one time on there, he had a guest on, and it was Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch. So he left the link down below. I clicked on that and went over to his channel. The very first video I watched on his channel was when he had Kentucky Ballistic on there. And it was crazy. They're doing wild stuff, and it was like entertaining. And I'm like, what is all this entertainment? I had no idea that there's actually entertainment on YouTube. And so I found myself kind of watching this stuff, and I just kind of started my search out farther to stuff that I liked, hobbies and this and that. And really that opened up everything and kind of new to me. And so we're sitting in there one night watching TV, and I told my wife, I'm like, this is junk. I want to go watch YouTube. There's a lot better stuff on YouTube than what's on TV. This is, some of the stuff's just, you know, filth, And
Oh, there's plenty
so,
of stuff on YouTube too, though.
well, yeah,
If you're
there
looking
is,
for it.
but when you're thinking like me growing up, your regular TV channels, you know, it wasn't, it's pretty friendly, family friendly, safe, and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But so I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, I said, I don't watch YouTube. So I was watching YouTube more and more on my computers. And by this time, I started trading the stock market full time after the shutdown, And so I upgraded my computer and monitors and all that stuff. So, being at the computer all day trading, and it kind of gave me more time to watch YouTube, off and on. And so it was something new to me. And
Well,
real
that's kind of
quick,
wild to me that you went from like not being a techie guy to trading stocks online.
no, I hardly ever took a picture other than like with my phone. We had like a family video recorder that we record Christmas and birthdays with. That
Hmm.
was pretty much it. I never edited anything in my life. and but also I see we got Jacob S jump in out there. Hey
Oh
buddy.
yeah.
And so we were sitting there one night, and it sticks in my mind because I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? I can make better YouTube videos than this junk on TV. At least, at least make people laugh, have fun, and stuff like that. And she's like, why don't you? And I'm like, well, maybe I should, And she goes, no, really, why don't you get out of the house, leave me alone, go make some videos or something,
Oh yeah, yeah. So I see she has an agenda.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, well, I won't need a camera, and stuff. So, of course, I got on YouTube, started searching, okay, what camera should I buy? Yeah, I had no idea how to do anything. The only thing I had done was a
Well, you
few
can
like
start with a
high
phone.
school.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm never the person. The only time I get a new phone is when the service calls me and they say, if you don't get a new phone within 90 days, yours is not going to work anymore because we're upgrading everything.
Okay. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
a newer
So,
phone. Yeah.
yeah, my phone's always been like, new at the time, but then, several years later before I ever get a new one. And so I did use my phone some, and I still do sometimes, but got video, camera, and just different stuff. Trying to figure everything out. And luckily, my youngest daughter, her and her husband, of course, they knew more about social media and all this. And I think I'd posted a couple deals on TikTok, and just little short funny videos or something about
Uh-huh.
like I was doing a deal about hillbilly words, what they meant.
Oh, okay.
And so I'd put out like 3 or 4 videos on TikTok, kind of trying to build up and learn about YouTube. And so one day my daughter, she swings by and she goes, Dad, you're on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, I posted some videos over there. And she goes, you don't have no hashtags, no nothing, just a video. And you have like already got like 300 followers and, people watching your video. I don't understand that. And I'm like, what's a hashtag? And so, she's like, well, if you post on here, you use hashtag blah, 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 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so you know anything about YouTube? She goes, nah, I just watch it. She goes, but her husband, she goes, he watches YouTube a lot. So they kind of like help me kind of get started. And so like when we filmed a few videos, like I said, the first ones I did just on my phone, no
Yeah.
editing because I didn't know how to edit. And anyway, I said, how do I do these videos or whatever? How do I like, cut out the bad spots, and everything. And he's like, well, you need editing software. So he got me set up on Filmora and kind of showed
Okay.
me a little bit how to use it. And he's like, just watch YouTube videos on, and you'll learn. So pretty much from everything, camera, mics, editing, I've all just watched YouTube videos and tried to learn, and so that's kind of my deal to social media. And when I started on YouTube, I had, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 videos out. And I had done a couple of them, maybe 2 or 3 with like my high point rifle, because that was something I had, and, and just fun to use. We enjoyed shooting it. And so I had this guy comment, and he goes, "Hey," he said, "I loved your video. You're funny. How would you like to come be on my live show sometime?"
Who's
And so
that?
I commented back, and I'm like, "What's a live show?" I had no idea there was live shows on YouTube. And so he was Travis P11 was his channel name. And he had me on a couple of his live shows, and actually the very first show I was on, Chris from the 740 was a guest on there too. So I got to meet Chris and a few people, and then Chris was like, "Hey, Billy, would you like to be on my show?" And so that's kind of how I started, and I started meeting other people, through all that. And after, I don't know, a couple months or however long, they're like, "Hey, you should start your own live show." I'm like, "I have no idea how to do this, what to do." And they're like, "Oh, you'll be fine." And they're like, "Just sign up on StreamYard, whatever." And so like I did, and I didn't know how to run StreamYard during my first live. I had no idea how to operate it or run it or nothing. So yeah, it's just been
It is a
big
little bit
crash
of it's a
course.
learning process, and I appreciate you giving me tips on that. So
Oh man. Yeah, and so yeah, it's been a crash course for the last couple years. I've been on YouTube just trying to learn. And also we got 67 Rebel out there, and Country
great.
Rimfire. Country Rimfire. And so welcome everybody. And
Well, I want to make sure that everybody, I think everybody on the side chat is, I've seen them as at least once or twice regulars on your show. So this may be a bit redundant to everybody, but I want to make sure everybody knows to go to Hillbilly's channel, right? And I'm going to type it in right now. Go to at Hillbilly Up on YouTube and subscribe to his channel right now, because it's a lot of fun content. What I'd like to see, and maybe you start a whole nother show, but is the reason why you started doing more gun content, was it because of the people that you were on your live streams on, or is it because that was the high point videos tended to get more views than your other? What made you decide to do that as opposed to country cooking or something like that? Because I would love to see a cooking show with you on it.
Yeah, I really thought about starting out doing a cooking show. And because like I could even go up to my restaurant, I have all the equipment, even to cook there. But I was like, I don't really know. I didn't really watch very many cooking shows. And so like I didn't really know what the reach would be or anything like that. But I already had decided myself, I was like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make it fun, something that, I enjoy doing. And so, I grew up, with firearms, hunting, and also fishing, camping, everything. And I thought, well, with these firearms, I'll start doing some of these. And plus it's kind of before, when I first started, I didn't know anybody else. So it's just something that I thought, well, cool. I'll go out and shoot, some firearms, and, just have a fun time. And so that was just kind of, my start on it. I had, a decent number of firearms just from hunting and, and stuff like that. And trap shooting, 12 gauge, that's something I've always enjoyed. I've been, shot in competitions with that, but it's very hard to film, when
Oh
like if
yeah.
you're shooting trap, it does not show up good on the video. I had tried 2 or 3 times filming some of that, but with my equipment and my knowledge, it just was not showing up very good. Didn't make very good videos, and so anyway, I just decided like if I can, if it's 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever the time is, if I can have fun doing it, and then also keep people's mind off of like just maybe this everyday stress and stuff that people go through. If I can give them just a mental break, and if I can put a smile on their face, make them laugh,
Yeah.
then it was all going to be worth it, to me. And so that was kind of my whole reasoning of starting out, and doing this.
I think that's great. Now, what I love about your show is that you inject a lot of just positive energy and just you always say make somebody else's day better, and I really do appreciate that thought.
Yeah, if each one of us, throughout the day, one time a day can make somebody else's day better, then it's going to make our day better, by helping others or by doing good deeds for somebody else. And so, and that's the thing, you just never know that person standing in front of you at the gas station or at the, restaurant, the market, whatever, what kind of day they're going through. And so, if you can just put a smile on their face or, open a door for them, push the shopping buggy back in, for the,
Yeah.
fella that's got to pick up the shopping buggy, just anything, even though you might not get recognized. And you shouldn't really do stuff like that to get recognized, but
No.
just
Yeah.
to, hopefully make somebody's day better. And I think by doing that, mentally thinking about trying to make somebody's day better, it actually makes your day better.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a good group of folks out there. Let's continue on with the regular schedule for the show. I'd love to get
Yeah.
your thoughts on some of the content that I've posted this week.
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring up this to the stage. And some of that is stuff that we talked about in some of your previous shows. But I just launched my video for the O site, and you did it a few months ago, I believe, right? You did
Uh,
it.
yeah, it was I know it was at least last month.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the prior month, at the end of the prior month or something, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last month. Yeah.
So, what do you think of it, of the optic?
Well,
Now that
I
you've got like at least a month or two more hands-on experience than I have.
yeah, well, to be honest with you, Olight puts out a great light and stuff, and even for the firearms, their lights for that. And so sometimes when a company tries to transition to something, you never know how it's going to go, and something new. And I was by looking at it, the size of it, and this and that, and I really love the charging hood, for it,
Yeah.
and which acts as a dust cover plus charger. I really like those ideas, and so I was really hoping it was going to be decent. But I went into the video not expecting a whole lot, and I've done several you know reviews for red and green dots for pistols and stuff like that. And most usually, we put them on, we shoot them and make sure they hold zero and this and that. But right off the bat, when I had started saying that I, was going to do a video for this, I had a few people from a live show and stuff. They're like, "Hey, um, this person tried it. I seen this person's video and they said that, they were having trouble with it, blah, blah, blah. And so I asked them, was like, email me the link or whatever so I can go watch it, and see what troubles they had before I even did my video. So I think there was two maybe different creators that did some videos, and they had some trouble with it, they said. And I watched their videos, and when somebody's saying the dot's off, you just kind of have to take their word for it.
Yeah.
Unless they hold it up in the camera and it's lined up with the sights, and you can tell that the dot is off, losing zero. So a lot of the creators, we take their word for it, and then be honest. And so I'm like, I'm going to put this through a lot more stuff than I've ever put a dot through. I mean, I got boxes of these things that I've tested. I've never took the dot and held it against the table and racked it several times. I've not done that to any of my other dots. I've not took something and just beat on them. So during that video, I did all those things. I mean, I took the magazine, I beat on it, I racked it against the table several times, just because I had thought that there might be problems with it. So I always like to do an honest review. And so
for sure.
with everything that I put it through, which is more abuse than I've ever put any dot through, it held zero. It didn't crack. I ended up being really impressed with it, and I really like the features on it.
Yeah, I was surprised at the amount of I mean, my personal experience shooting it was fine. It wasn't anything different than any of the other red dots I tried, and I thought perhaps that it would feel like a different experience, but it wasn't. To me, it ended up being like shooting a regular red dot. And what I was surprised by is the amount of sort of Olight hate comments that I got afterwards, and I felt bad for him. I was like, hey, I totally understand if you buy an Olight and it fails on you. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. And I think I did a video where I talked about how one of their flashlights failed and wouldn't turn off, which is, that's terrible. But what was positive about that is that company, when I contacted them, and I didn't say, hey, I didn't contact what I didn't do was I didn't contact the person who contacted me originally about reviewing it, because I wanted to see how just sort of regular Joe who's buying one of these products, if experiencing it. So I just went straight to their website, filled it in. I didn't include my normal. I used my sort of civilian email, so it wasn't my media email for Moondog Industries, and they responded to me and they sent me a return label like the next day, and so I got a replacement really quickly. So I can at least say, yeah, I did have an Olight that failed, but Olight did come through and replace it. So yeah,
exactly.
That's the experience I've had with them.
And
which is better than I can say to some companies out there.
Yeah, and the only thing so far that I've found about this particular product, the Sosite, is if you have suppressor height sights that's a little taller, the hood is not cut out enough to slide down and charge. So far, that's the only con that I've found with this. But on my Grizzly that I put it on, the regular sights on that was enough that I could actually co-witness through my iron sights. And so gotcha. I could tell if the dot was off. There's just enough. It's set low enough on the profile that, without suppressor height sights, I could still co-witness. So I thought, well, that's really good because it saved you from having to, swap them out for suppressor height sights. So,
yeah. So, you hear from two folks. I mean, granted that both of us have a sample of one, but by which we base our opinions on. But so far, As you heard it, folks, between Hillbill and myself, so far so good on these O sites. So that's what I posted this week. My review on at least last week. My review on the O site, and I
Yeah.
think
If
I
you don't
was it
mind,
you who came up with this headline, or I forget if I did.
no, I didn't come up with that one, but yeah, I liked it. And
All
I
right.
actually, for uh, I do want to say that even though, like I said, there was some people that uh, evidently don't like OLED or whatever the case might be, I went ahead and purchased one with my own money. Sent to my regular residence, and I'm actually going to do more tests, more abusive tests on it, just to see, because I always want to try to get my honest opinion of if something is not don't work right, or customer service or something. That's something that I know me and you and several creators try to let the viewers know. And so yeah, it's sometimes that's just the deal. And I mostly don't deal with companies unless I can try their product and I can, basically check out their customer service and stuff like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on and see what the next video that I had. And this one I tried to squeeze this one in before Christmas, because I heard about this challenge. I don't know if you had a chance to shoot the Day of the Range
I've not yet.
snowman challenge. Well, he calls it the Christmas challenge. So I really tried to get it in. Barely made it in the day before Christmas, because the weather out here has been so iffy with winter storms. But we had a few hours of no rain, so I managed to get to the range and shoot the challenge. And let's see. I think I had a little bit of. I'll share a little bit of the footage. You can go. You guys can all go watch the video, but I just want to share a little bit of the video here. A little high. All right. So I had a frustrating time with this particular one, just because I was using Agila Super Extra, and just when I felt like I got it zeroed in, it would climb and then it would drop. So I never knew how to compensate for the ammo as the barrel heated up. I thought I was starting to see a rise, but then when I compensated by aiming down on the little suns that you're supposed to shoot, then it would go too low and So yeah, I think I only managed like a very meager score of like 5 or 2 or something like that. Yeah. Oh, we got Alan from a much warmer from much warmer winters over in Australia. How are you? Hope you're feeling better, by the way.
Yeah.
Alan.
Hey, buddy.
Alan and his wife got a bit of the Rona a week or two ago. So yeah, unfortunately. And I wanted to ask all of you out there: have you guys how many of the folks in the side chat have competed on these rimfire challenges? They're really easy to do, because they're you can download the targets yourself and you can post them up in there at 50 yards. And it was really nice to see that Day at the Range also posts up when people send results of their attempts. He'll post up their videos, or at least links to their videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. I have to bug him. I haven't seen my video up there yet, but on his leaderboard. Not that I'm very high on the leaderboard, near the bottom probably. All right, so so I managed to get 2 videos in for my 2A channel this week, and
awesome.
For my my reviews channel, my regular Moondog gadget reviews channel, I got a hold of Nightcore sent out one of their Lumen blades. They asked if I wanted to try out their EDC light, so I went and looked at their catalog, and they had this ridiculous light that claimed to output 6,500 lumens, and I thought it was going to be like this monster huge flashlight to output something that bright, but no, it looks it's about the size of my Arcfeld Pro. I mean, it's a little bit bigger. You can see here. So, but it's not that much bigger. And this thing, well, this is it in regular brightness, and this is in the turbo mode.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I can feel the heat coming off this thing.
Wow.
You see in the video, I burned a hole in my vest because I was holding it like this, just checking the buttons and checking the display and pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
And it was right up next to the vest, and it burned a hole in my vest.
Wow.
So, it's legit. And well, I say it's legitimately bright. I don't know if it's 6,500 lumens because I did not want to test it in my rig and actually melt my rig to do that. So I will claim that it is crazy bright. That's for sure on that. So if you'd like to see what how well that thing performs, and you can even see in the little bit of in that photo there, you can see at the very end, I must have taken a photo right after my vest, because you could see a little bit of some fabric sticking to the front of the glass there. That's from my vest. After testing it, it had melted onto. It wiped off the rest of the stuff, the debris on there wiped off. But yeah, that's part of the experience of testing these things. And on my Moondog Go channel, which is my travel channel, I posted up a drive from Midtown Terrace in San Francisco downtown and back out. And this is footage from in the middle of the video where we go right by the downtown City Hall, which is a beautiful classic revival style. It looks like the Vatican or the Capitol building in DC, but it's a beautiful building. That's the City Hall. And
Wow.
we drive from there and drive around. So that's one of my videos. And today I'll be posting. I filmed some footage of. Have you, Hillbilly? Have you heard of the Winchester Mystery Mansion?
Yeah. I sure have.
So we went there today. It's first time to go. So I'm going to post a video as soon as I get that assembled. Unfortunately, I didn't know this. You're not allowed to videotape inside of the mansion. So I had to do I caught a little bit of covert footage, but I know it's not going to look good. So I haven't had a chance to look through it. But yeah, I mostly took photos in there, and they allowed you to take photos as long as it's not flash, which is fine. But it's probably going to be me narrating over a lot of photos. But yeah, that was kind of a bummer. Is that, I can't show you any video from this trip. And so Bentress Marksman just posted up here. I need to come up with some sort of. You should. I'd love to see one of your a competition target that you put together. I don't know if you have any Alan. I don't know if you have any experience with desktop publishing software or anything like that, but I'd recommend using Canva over Microsoft Word, just because it's easier to manipulate images and move things around. That's kind of a pain.
I love Canva, and it's what I definitely use, and I'll be having one come out in the spring. I wanted to get let them get all the holiday ones over and stuff. And this ain't complete, but I showed it to Hasbro, and I've showed it on my channel a time or two, but I still got some work to do on it, but it's going to be the hard seltzer challenge. Yeah. And so, that'll be coming out.
Maybe you should, have you looked into doing just the view from the very top of it? So it's like a circular target with the, or maybe you get extra points for shooting the tab of the,
the tab. Like I said, I was going to do it this fall, but then there was so many other challenges going on. Hasbro had his, and of course Day of the Range, and then there's so many great people out there that's putting out challenges all the time. So I was like, well, I'll wait till after the holidays, till get a little time to maybe warm up just a touch. So I'll get
Yeah,
that out early spring.
I'm gonna try to take part in more challenges just because it forces me to actually shoot. Where most of the time I'm shooting, it's just for the testing, and I don't
Yeah.
actually get to enjoy it, or not that cursing myself or missing is that much fun, but yeah, to actually just shoot for the experience of shooting, I need to do
Yeah.
more of that. Is what I realized that I need to do.
It is
All right.
fun. It really is.
Now, I wanted to get your input, Hillbilly, as well as everybody out there, because this is you saw some of the thumbnails that I used for the videos that I posted up. Well, this is everyone's opportunity to help me come up with a new headline or caption for a thumbnail that I'm going to be posting, because I'm doing a review of the new Arkin LH6, which is their second focal plane LPVO, which I'm posting up this coming weekend, and I'd love some thoughts, everyone's thoughts on a good headline for the video. So this is the one that I have in the can, ready to go, which is SFP FTW, which for those of you who don't know what that means, it's second focal plane for the win for in texting parlance. So, any thoughts, everybody, on for the Arkin LH6? This is a second focal plane 1:6 LPVO, and I actually prefer second focal plane LPVOs personally, just because I use them at low power generally, or maybe 3 power, and I don't really need the long range precision that first focal plane LPVOs would generally tend to give you. So,
yeah, and I believe it all depends on your situation. With the first focal plane and the second, and but yeah, that's really cool. They have a second focal plane out there.
now they're using that KL box reticle that they have on their first focal plane LPVO as the main reticle. But I like the reticle in their EP8, but I actually didn't think it was that good as a second focal plane reticle, just because it was a little too busy for my taste.
Yeah.
So Will Trax said, I have issues seeing a first focal plane at low power. Absolutely. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem I have with first focal plane LPVOs, is that I use them mostly at low power. So those first focal plane LPVOs are optimized for how the reticle looks like at 10 power or 8 power, and they're too damn thin. So at 1 power. So that's the issue I have with them. So I totally agree with you there, Will.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's a lot of it's how far you're shooting. If you're hunting, pronghorn or something, and you're going to be shooting several hundred yards, and that first focal plane, comes in nice. But if you're deer hunting, and you're going to be shooting 100 yards or less. I definitely prefer a second focal plane, and for this precision shooting, I found out that I really prefer a second focal plane with just a nice thin cross on it. Not much noise at all. And so it all depends on what you're using it for,
especially for these challenge targets that we were talking about. So here's a suggestion from Country Rimfire. LP. I'm thinking he means he meant LPVO, but correct me if I'm wrong. LPVO, hit your skunk every shot. Have you ever, Hillbilly, have you ever hunted skunk?
I've had to shoot one or two, and it's never pleasant. And if anybody out there has to do it, the best way, this is what, my grandfather told me and all that. If, of course, hopefully you got your distance, so,
Yeah.
but if you can get just a lung shot, um, it don't stop their senses as much to scare them,
Mm-hmm.
because they'll still be alive, and they don't really know what, there's nothing that like scares them, or gives them that deal to spray.
Yeah.
um but headshot, I mean, any other shot, even sometimes a headshot, you think headshot would be the best, but I've actually, had a good headshot to where it pretty much just fell over, but it still sprayed somehow.
Oh, so
So
a
I,
lung shot is better with a. Were you shooting with the 22
yeah,
or? Mhm.
yeah.
Interesting. So here's a suggestion. I believe it's a suggestion from Will, the new Aztec. I think that's a reference to the Pontiac car. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the extent of the suggestion. So if anybody else has any other suggestion for that headline, please post it in the comments, or in the comments after the episode is over, if you can't get it in the chat. Oh, okay, he was referencing here. He corrected. He was referencing the reticle on that in in the comments there. All right, so let's move along. Now, for those of you who weren't here earlier, I'm giving away a prize at the end of today's episode, and I'm giving a set of 3 of these Daniel Defense chamber flags, along with I won't show you this because I won't show you the brand, because this is part of the hashtag. So I want everybody to type in a hashtag in the chat to be entered to win the drawing, but I won't tell you what the name of the brand is. You have to figure it out from the clues. And so for those of you who stay watching, will get more clues to what the brand of the gun, the name of the gun is. And I didn't want to show you the brand on here because it might be a giveaway. So here's a clue. This gun, and it is a submachine gun, was first issued in 1954 or 1956, depending on who you talk to. But it's either 54 or 1956. And it was used in combat during the 1967 Six-Day War in the Middle East. And it's been used by Secret Service, by the U.S. Secret Service, during the attempted assassination of President Reagan. So the word that you need to type in with a hashtag in the side chat is the name of the gun. And this is the clue to which gun that I'm talking about on there. So type in hashtag name of the gun, whatever, blank. Hashtag name of the gun in the side chat, and you'll be entered into the contest at the end of the show. Oh, and also you get all of that is going to be wrapped inside of a Spyderco tote bag. Okie dokie. So this brings us into the word of the week today, and the word is collie. And this is an old word, an old English word, and it's coming from everyone knows that the 12 Days of Christmas song, right? The 12 days, yep.
Mm-hmm.
3 calling birds and a partridge in a pear tree. Well, when I was listening to the song and watching videos this week, they mentioned that the day 4 calling birds, 3 French hens. Well, originally it was 4 collie birds, not calling birds, collie birds. And that calling birds, it was something akin to a change that was done in later editions of the printed lyrics, probably something like Mondegreens that we were talking about, how words change, people mishear them. But the original word, as written in the lyric books from the 1700s, was collie birds, and that is a reference to European black birds, because collie was derived from coley, meaning black or black colored. And that's also one of the derivatives of where we get border collie, where we get border collies, because border collies are white and black.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned from the American Ornithological Society. That's the Bird Society. That's the interesting thing, though. Yeah. And that brings us into I wanted to talk a little bit with you about the 12 days of Christmas. Now, I don't know, does everybody out there celebrate the 12 days of Christmas? And for those of you who don't know, or if you, that, it, apart from the song, it comes from the tradition where Christians would celebrate not just Christmas Day, not just Christmas Eve, but from every day from Christmas Day all the way until the Feast of the Epiphany, which is um, when the story of the three wise men or the three kings or the three magi who came to the east and presented the baby Jesus with three gifts. Well, that what didn't happen on the day he was born. Actually, that happened 12 days after he was born. And so those are the 12 days of Christmas. So between Christmas Day and when the three kings arrived at I suppose at the stables, I never quite understood. Were they forced to stay in the stables? You mean you're trying to tell me that there wasn't any room for the inn for the next 12 days? Maybe, I don't know, but they don't really go into that in the Bible.
Well, you have to understand too, they had called a census.
Yes.
So every male was supposed to return to his hometown, so that's why they were in Bethlehem. And so back then, the Roman soldiers were like, they were the government or whatever. And so Bethlehem may not have had very many motel rooms. So who's going to get the motel rooms first? So that's something that I've always been kind of told, and it's like they probably weren't the only ones having to camp out.
Yeah, I just wonder how long did they have to stay there.
Well,
I wonder how
long
was
done.
I don't say. Yeah. So for at least 12 days they were there. They were stuck there. So that's the 12 days of Christmas celebrates all of those that time between that and the Christmas and when they arrived. And some other bit of trivia about the song: the earliest edition of the song was printed as a children's book called Mirth Without Mischief in 1780. And that book sold for $23,750 at Sotheby's auction house in 2014.
Wow.
So that's a nice chunk of change for a children's book.
Yes, it is.
Check your kids' books, maybe. Check your grandma's kids' books. You might have a second edition. It might not be worth that much, but certainly worth something. And one other older version included the lyrics "bears a-baiting," though I'm not sure which of the days that has. But for those of you who hunt, bear baiting was a sport like fox hunting, where you'd hunt bears. So that was an interesting. There have been dozens, maybe even more, variations on the lyrics, and it was originally a poem before it was a song, and the song that we sing wasn't even put together with the poem until like the 20th century. So originally it was just a poem, a kid's rhyme. And this brings us into other Christmas
song. Seven babes of bathing, huh?
Maybe. I wanted to share something that I shared, that Hillbilly shared on his show, the Christmas Eve show that he had, where he asked me before I had to jump off what I was doing, and I'd mentioned that that night at midnight mass at church, I'm in the choir, so I sang Stille Nacht, which is the German version of Silent Night during mass. So I'm going to share this with you since you are my guest. This is my rendition of Stille Nacht, or at least the first stanza of that, because we did a bunch of different other languages for different parts of the song. So here we go. Let me just cue this up and pause our background music. So that was my Christmas.
Awesome. Great job, buddy. Great
Thank
job.
you. And the my wife was singing duet with me on that because she also studied a little bit of German in high school. That's the only reason why I ended up singing it, is because nobody else in the choir spoke or at least read German. So at least I could get the pronunciation right, or at least somewhat half right. For those of you who might be watching this who do who are natural or native German speakers, please let me know in the comments if I got any of that pronunciation screwed up at all, since it's not my first language.
Well, a lot of us Gen Xers, we did sing a little bit of German for one song,
Oh
99 Lost
yes,
Balloons.
99 to Sloft Balloons.
Yeah.
And I
I had no
something
idea what we were
something
singing,
cougar.
but
Yeah, so well, and I wanted to share one Christmas tradition. I think we're going to start because this is what I did today, since this is the day after Christmas, and people do a lot of things. I know some friends of mine have a post Christmas tradition of going to the movies, or eating Chinese food, since you know that they're going to be open and Christmas Day too. So on Christmas Day, just to get some extra food for our Christmas dinner, I stopped in and picked up some Chinese food. So it's great. Yes. So
yeah, great stuff, no doubt.
this is
Oh,
our going to be our new tradition. We stopped in at um, New England the New England Lobster Market in San Bruno, which is just next to the San Francisco Airport, International Airport, because this is the place where they fly in all of the Maine lobster, and all of the high-end restaurants and hotels buy their Maine lobster from the Lobster Pound at the airport, and this is the lobster shack that's attached to the Lobster Pound. And they
wow.
had a Thursday deal. It was a 2-pound lobster for I think it was $49 for the lobster and the sides. Now, for those of you folks, that may be a lot of money. Yes, it is. It's not cheap, but for San Francisco, that's cheap, or at least cheaper than buying it at a restaurant. You're not going to get a 2-pound lobster for $49 at any restaurant in San Francisco. But it
Yeah,
was
that's
a little
wild.
bit of a treat.
Yeah, that
And it
sure
was
looks good,
delicious.
buddy.
It was good stuff. All right. So we are well past our hour, and I wanted to get into the contest for today. So for those of let's we get uh for those of you who no, oh sorry. Before we get into the giveaway contest that I'm giving today, I wanted to do the drawing for the contest that I've been doing all month, and that is for the CV Life LPVO, which we have here in the photo. This is the 1-6 eagle talon, and for that one, I asked everybody to send in to submit a photo of their that they've subscribed to my Moondog Go travel channel, and I'm going to be doing the drawing for that. So here we go. Hillbilly, do you want to call it to do a countdown?
Yeah, you bet you, buddy. So since he's talking about 12 days of Christmas, we'll start with 12.
All right, that's perfect.
12, 11. I think I can count that far. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see who wins. Dakota Mangal. All
All
right,
right.
so
Congratulations,
to
Dakota.
enter the contest, you needed to submit your name and address, just so I know that that you complied or are in compliance with. It has to be within the United States for one thing. So I have a mail to address, hopefully, in that submission. So I will be contacting Dakota, and and CV Life will be shipping you your LPVO shortly. So congratulations. All right.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
this is our last clue for today's giveaway. And that is the submachine gun was designed by Major Uziel Gal. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, if it's Uziel or Uziel Gal, and was first produced by IWI, and that's what the little keychain or a zipper pull tag is. You're going to get one of these by IWI and FN. So get in your hashtag name of the gun in the chat, in the side chat, and do it. Put it in right now. Put in your best guess if you don't know what it is, and I will be doing the drawing shortly. And I should mention that I will be also doing a special drawing next month at the end of the month from SHOT Show, and I will be giving that winner a special bag stuffed with lots of swag from SHOT Show. So
Awesome.
I'll be posting up at the beginning of the year, at the start of the year, I'll be posting up details of that contest. So keep an eye out at moondogindustries.com/contest for the details of that new contest when it comes up. And I will be posting here while I get a chance to, all those of you who are thinking about this clue to get your hashtags in, but I'll be posting up some links, some helpful links. So here is, don't forget to make use of my 14-day free trial at Aura while it's still going on this year before the 31st. And also this discount code, 10% discount code off of Discovery Optics, I'll be posting up here. And I'll type in dogindustries.com/contest. There you go. Okay, so shall we call it? Shall we do the drawing?
I think I seen about this. Well, I think I misunderstood about the contest. I don't know if they're talking about tonight's contest. What you just spun was not tonight's contest, right? And
the CV Life.
Yeah.
That the CV Life was, you had to enter that contest earlier in the month. You had to submit a screenshot. But for today's contest, to win the Spyderco bag, the Daniel Defense chamber flags, you just needed to type in hashtag and the name of the gun that all these clues are in the side
you're
chat.
looking for a particular hashtag name of the gun. And even if you guessed wrong earlier, but now you got it figured out, you can still do the correct hashtag and still get in it, right?
Yeah. Yep. So get it. Type in your best guess right now. Hashtag and type in the name of the gun. Hashtag, like if it was, this isn't the right answer, but if it was like hashtag
High Point.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Hashtag High Point if you think that the gun he's talking about is a High Point.
So, all right, I'm going to bring it up now, because if I bring up the screen, it's going to show what the answer is. So, you want to call it? Going to give a last countdown there, Hillbilly?
Yeah. Just in case somebody is on delay, you have to hurry up and get your hashtag in of the name that you think the gun that he's been getting all these clues for. You think that the name of that gun is, you put hashtag in that, and once the screen's brought up, then you will not be eligible because the name's going to show. So
yeah,
make sure you get that in.
Here's the last clue on the screen, by the way.
Yeah. So let me just do a 3-second countdown, and then after that, there won't be any more entries. That sound fair? And that's what shows up on StreamYard. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, and the entries are done.
Okay, here we go. All right, so the answer is Uzi, and we'll see who won. Tim Mooney. Congratulations, Tim. Are you out there?
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're there, right there. 3 seconds later. So, Tim, let me just post up. You can contact me. Please contact me at here's my email address. Send me an email and send me your mail to information where I can mail you your prizes, your IWI. This is a zipper pull, or you can use it as a keychain, and you'll get 3 Daniel Defense chamber flags and a Spyderco tote bag. So
Awesome
congratulations.
Stuff. Yes, well, congratulations, Tim.
And let me just take a screenshot just so I remind myself this. All right. So before we wrap things up, I want to thank American Hillbilly for joining me as my special guest today. I really do appreciate it, especially since he was busy with dinner prior to this.
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. I sure enjoyed it.
Of course. And is there anything you've got cooking up that you want to tell folks, or because you got your show coming up this Saturday, right?
Yeah. We got a Guns, Beer, and Therapy. It's every Saturday night, 9:00 Central, 10:00 Eastern. And we'd love to have you if you ain't doing nothing. Come by and visit us. We always try to have a good time. And then, I actually I put out a video today, a couple little Christmas gifts that my wife surprised me with. And then, of course, we got just more videos coming out. So anyway, thanks again for having me, buddy. Appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime. And I'd like to thank everybody out there for joining the side chat. And congratulations to Tim Mooney. Tim, I just posted my email address to email me your physical address, or at least your address you'd like to have the product shipped to, whether it's work or whatnot. And I'd like to thank everybody out there. We got Bench Rest Marksman. We've got Tim Mooney, got Yukon, Will, Country Rimfire, Abigail, Justin Graham. And I'm just scrolling back here. I've got let's see who else that I haven't named already. We've got Garage Guy. We got Hasbro. I forgot if I mentioned Justin, but Justin Grimm's here. And we had Link a little while earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still up there, but he's probably crashed since he's not feeling well.
Yeah.
And we got Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. Well, I want to thank everybody out there. If I haven't highlighted you, I do appreciate you joining the chat the day after Christmas. And I'd like to invite you back to join me next Thursday, since I didn't want to do a live stream on New Year's Day. Or maybe I should I do it on New Year's Day? As I usually do it on a Wednesday. Does everybody? I don't know if everybody's busy on New Year's Day or not. Maybe I'll just post it up as a poll to see which day you'd prefer me to have on my regular Wednesdays or Thursday again. So let's do that. I'll post up a poll, see which works best for everybody out there, because I'm pretty flexible in terms of when I'm going to be doing this. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night. Y'all take care.
All right.
Happy
See
New
you,
Year.
folks. God bless. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.